YouTube, what's up? Riz back with some more prospect rankings for the NFL draft. Previous video was D lineman. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. This one is edge rushers. Really could combine both D line and edge rushers. Just wanted to split them up because there's so many great players. But let's get into it. Obvious number one is Myles Garrett. Supposed to go number one overall, but who knows? Just a freak athlete, and usually the freak athletes don't have the production, and he does. I know some people will come to me and say he didn't have as many sacks as Derek Barnett or stuff like this, and he's one of those freak guys that just won't be able to do it in the NFL. I disagree with that completely. He did miss some games. No serious injury. I think they were just holding him out because they knew he was going to be a top pick, or maybe he was holding himself out. I don't agree with that. I would play, but it doesn't hurt him. If anything, it helps him because he's more fresh, if you know what I mean. Definitely for the amount of games he played, there was a lot of production. And if you look 2 years ago, he played a full season and plenty of production. So definitely a great player, freak athlete. My number two is Derek Barnett. I think he's become an underrated player. He's kind of fallen on this edge rusher list. Some people are talking about mid to late first round, which is just bizarre to me. You get edge rushers. The purpose of getting them is to get after the quarterback you're playing. And Derek Barnett does that. He gets sacks. He's an excellent player. I've seen him drop back sometimes too. That's very surprising from him. And it's not even a question for me. He is my number two. I know some people have other guys ahead of him. It's not even a question for me. Those are my clear top two. On to my number three. This is where it starts getting closer. Is Taco Charlton from Michigan. Some people, they're moving him up ahead, maybe to the number two edge rusher. I think he's a excellent football player. Production wasn't always there, but for the most part it was. I think he's a guy that could use a little work, but he can end up being something special. Mid first round, I would say. And my number four, this is where it gets really tough. It's very, very close from here on out. My number four is Tim Williams from Alabama. Now, on a big board, he may not be number four, or may not be ahead of the guys behind him on this edge rusher list because off the field issues, tested positive for drugs in the past, but not recently. So that could be a concern to some teams, but just an excellent player. 3-4 outside linebacker. I think can play 4-3 defensive end as well. So that is great about him. He's definitely athletic and knows the game. So I have him at 4, very close though. And my number 5 is going to be Takkarist McKinley from UCLA. I prefer as a 4-3 D end. Some people believe he can step back, play outside linebacker, maybe for a 3-4 team. I like him coming off the edge. Very good pass rusher. He knows how to get to the quarterback. Recent surgery is what's going to drop him a little bit. Maybe he would be 4. Maybe I would have him mid-first round if it wasn't for the surgery. But recovery's going well. He didn't miss any games because of injury, so there's a lot of positive to that. Ran a great 40 at the combine. In other drills, I thought he looked kind of stiff. His lateral movement wasn't too good, so I was a little scared on that. But he's 5. It's a very, very close 5 because my number 6 is going to be Charles Harris from Missouri. And he can easily be discussed in the top 5. Excellent. Another guy, 4-3 D end. I prefer him as a 4-3 D end. Could be outside linebacker for a 3-4 team. Run stopping could use some work. That is the main reason why he's going to be behind Tim Williams and Takkarist McKinley. But knows how to get to the quarterback. His moves are just excellent. Spin move is great. So Charles Harris is a guy I really like. Another guy that can easily go first round. And after those guys, it's Jordan Willis probably would be next, a guy on the rise, knows how to get to the quarterback. DeMarcus Walker, a lot of sacks. I think he's underrated. The reason he's not high is because what is he? Because for the most part, he would actually play inside at Florida State on a 4-3 D line. Is he inside? Is he outside end? Nobody really knows. His technique isn't really there. A lot of sacks were coverage sacks. But, I mean, if you get that many sacks, obviously you're good. Obviously you can play. So I view him as underrated. He can get to the quarterback. Carl Lawson, another guy that can play D-end or outside linebacker. Very good. Teams kind of split on him. There's teams that will view him as a late first rounder. There's teams that will view him as an early 4th. So I think there's no way he goes first because of that. But It's going to be an interesting one to see. Dwayne Smoot from Illinois, another guy, at one point considered a first rounder, but I think he's dropped, not really because of him, but because these other edge rushers are so good. Terrell Basham from Ohio, another guy on the rise, had a lot of production. There's just so many edge rushers in this draft. It's pretty stacked. Tyus Bowser from Houston, a guy that can play D-end or outside linebacker. He is on the rise. Carroll Phillips, same situation, Illinois, D-end/outside linebacker. Prefer outside linebacker for him probably. JoJo Mathis from Washington, a guy I really like, a lot of potential. Had a couple injuries in the past, but really like his potential. Sleeper, I'll give you a sleeper. Trey Hendrickson from Florida Atlantic, very good athlete, very underrated. But there's plenty. There's much more edge rushers to go over that are definitely worthy to talk about. But those are the guys I wanted to focus on today. It's going to be interesting to see how they come off the board because after Myles Garrett, it's really going to be. It could be a weird order. I mean, Derek Barnett should be next, but it could be a strange order. But I mean, they're so closely graded for me, like Tim Williams, Takkarist McKinley, Charles Harris, even Jordan Willis. They're so closely graded that if one I had at the bottom of the list there comes up before the first one, it's not going to be the worst pick because they're just so closely graded and that player may fit the team better. So we will see. Very good edge rusher class. Very, very good. So that'll do it for this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed and want more. Goodbye.